If we could just get your name and your school.
My name is Rian Collins, to go to Parish College, Maghera.
Rian, how excited are you to be up here today at Croke Park?
It's never not an exciting day coming up to Croke Park. Like, it's a big build up now, so it's good to look forward to.
Maybe something we wouldn't be used to hearing, a Kerry team facing a Derry team in a hurling final.
It's normally the football you meet the Kerry in, but no, it's hurling this time. It's good to get that bit of different.
And what does it mean for a hurling team in Derry to be represented at an All-Ireland final?
It's class, like there's not many that make it so far in the competitions they're in, and I think it's great. It shows there is hurling in Derry and in Kerry, and they're not just football counties. Like.
And what's the excitement been like in the school so far this week?
It's good now. It's building up now this week and next week, and getting supporters buses and everybody ready for the match.
People will be coming in their numbers though?
I hope so.
And what makes it special playing with your school, do you think?
I think going to school with boys for 7 years and playing with them and fighting tough matches, like it's coming out the right end of the matches, it's a great feeling. Like.
Is there a particular game that's been extra tough this year, do you think?
I'd say our Paddy Buggy semi-final there was a tough game. We only won by a point. In the end of it, it came down. It was a real tough, real physical game. And you had a few boys stepped up and pulled us across the line, so it was good to get that.
How will you battle the nerves coming up now over the next few days, do you think?
Well, you always get nerves show that you care, but I think once you step out on the final day and the whistle goes, you forget all about it and just play.
Have you had a chance to look at the Kerry boys video so far?
We'll get a look at them over the next week or two and pinpoint a few players I'd say are handy now and get them marked up.
And what would it mean to you to be able to bring the cup home as captain?
It would mean a lot. Bring it back to Maghera. It hasn't been back in a number of years. So we're normally used to the football success, so it's great to have that hurling as well.
If we could just get you to introduce yourselves and tell us what school you're from.
Hi, I'm Killian Hurley and I'm from CBS The Green.
I'm Owen Costello and I'm from CBS The Green.
We're here at the launch, the All-Ireland finals up in Croke Park, lads. How are you feeling?
Ecstatic. It's good to be both because we have the hurling and the football both coming here, so it's history for school.
Fantastic. Has there been one in the football and the hurling by the school before?
No, I haven't. I don't think so, no. I think it's the second time the football got to the Hogan Cup final, but first for the hurling, I think, yeah.
For a Kerry team to thought of being able to bring home a hurling cup, what does that mean?
It's history. Kerry hurling's on the rise, and competing in Munster, you go in as underdogs, and to come out through that and get to an All-Ireland final, it's massive.
And do you think it's good for Kerry hurling as a whole?
Oh yeah, I would think so, yeah. It would be good for Kerry hurling if we do bring it home, and hopefully we do, yeah.
And you have a lot of previous footballers in the school that have won at this level before. Any hurlers?
No, because back in the day it would never been this high. It's this kind of group, they've pushed on the limits and we've brought it up to the standard that it is now.
You're a fairly close-knit team, so?
Yeah, we are, I suppose, if you want to say that.
Has there been a particular game so far that you found very tough that you thought has kind of maybe brought you together as a team?
Our probably toughest game was probably Hazelwood. I think it was the quarter-final, and we had a few lads, myself, we were injured, couldn't play, but it was just the lads that never gave up, and last puck of the game sent it to extra time, and then in extra time we went on to win it, yeah, and that kind of drove us on, knowing that we had that attitude.
And will there be extra excitement now coming up for the week in the school because you're competing in both finals?
Yeah, I said it'd be huge excitement in the school now, for the hurling and the football to be both in the final now. So hopefully we can get the job done and bring it back to the school now, hopefully.
And how will you deal with the nerves coming up for the next couple of days?
It'll be hard, all right, because we have the footballers 4 days before us, and then depending on how they get on, you're always going to have a different feeling. So we'll have to see what happens first, the footballers, then fingers crossed they bring it home, and then hopefully we'll do the same thing.
Brilliant. Lads, best of luck.
Thanks very much.
Yes, folks, good afternoon, and you are very welcome to Coralstown Kinnegad GA here in Westmeath. It's a beautifully sunny Saturday afternoon for the 2026 Masita All-Ireland Post-Primary Schools Paddy Buggy Cup Senior B hurling final between CBS the Green of Tralee and St Patrick's Maghera. Of course, the Derry School, as the teams just go through their final preparations. We've had a change with the referee, who is now Cian Ryan from Tipperary. He's just calling both sets of captains into the centre of the field for the throw-in. The captain from St Pat's of Maghera is Rian Collins, and the joint captains from CBS Tralee are Killian Hurley and Owen Costello, just going in for the toss. And we will take a check on the teams as throw-in is fast approaching here in Coralstown Kinnegad in Westmeath, starting with St Pat's of Maghera. They line out with Donncha Collins in goals. It's a full back line of Padder P.O. Peoples, Darragh O'Neill and Oren Burke. Half back line of Caelan Gallagher, Oren Doherty and Dan McEldowney. Midfield pairing of Dahi McCluskey and Niall McNichol. It's a half forward line of Cathal McCluskey, Fionn Carton and PJ Glover, and a full forward line comprising of Pádraig O'Kane, Rian Collins and Sean O'Kane. For CBS Tralee this afternoon in goals is Cian Harris. It's a full back line of Brandon Lean, John O'Donovan and Ryan Hurley. Half back line of Matthew O'Sullivan, Mikey Corridon and Luke Hannafin. It's a midfield pairing of Brodie Lean and Killian Hurley, who is the joint captain. Half forward line then of Jake Rochford, Rory O'Halloran and Owen O'Flaherty, and a full forward line comprising of Owen Costello, who's also joint captain, Stephen Shanahan and Oisin Heaton. As I said, the conditions are absolutely perfect. A little bit of a breeze blowing possibly from right to left, but it is a very moderate one and it shouldn't impact conditions too much. It's really ideal conditions. A long journey down for St Pat's, a long journey up for CBS Tralee to the excellent facilities here in Coralstown Kinnegad. St Pat's, well, they're looking to add to their 3 titles this afternoon, their most recent coming in 2011. Tralee trying to bounce back from the Hogan Cup final defeat last weekend in Croke Park by getting across the line here to win their first Paddy Buggy Cup. The teams just breaking through the final huddles, and we will be underway momentarily. I was pausing for Ouran Naveen, which has just started. I think it'll go down as one of the quietest renditions of Ouran Naveen that we've ever heard. The supporters only realised halfway through it that it was actually being played, and we ourselves weren't sure. There was some background music and the teams had paused in the middle of the field, but we got there in the end and we are all set for action. As there's a good crowd in here, most of whom are located in the stand side here. The sun is shining over to our left and right and over on the far side of the field. Interesting to see the Tralee substitutes not taking part in the warm-up. First time I think I've seen that, and it will be Tralee playing from left to right in this first half. Possibly a slight breeze favouring St Pat's, but as I said, nothing too drastic to speak of. The referee Cian Ryan just going to pick up the sliotar, and we will be underway in a couple of moments' time. The Paddy Buggy Cup on the line for either of these two schools, and the referee throws in the ball and we are underway for the 2026 Masita Paddy Buggy Cup final, and it's early possession out round midfield for Killian Hurley as he launches the ball long for CBS, looking for the ball inside. Shielding off the attentions is Gallagher back there, who's doing well to mop up possession for the Derry School. Played through the hands to find Oren Doherty, who clears his lines long down the right hand side. Rian Collins the intended target, but possession is back with the men in dark blue and yellow as they have won a free from just inside their own 65. And the Baron and the noise coming down to our left-hand side from the Tralee supporters who are housed to our left, the St. Pat's Maghera down to our right. Good etiquette shown by both sets of supporters, and the free over on the far side will be taken by Matthew O'Sullivan as the atmosphere just cranks up a notch or two, and an early opportunity here for O'Sullivan, albeit from probably just the far side of the 65 by the time in which he lifts and strikes the ball here. And possibly the breeze just coming into his face ever so slightly. Just over 70 seconds played. And the strike is really, really good, and it carries all the way through. That's a terrific score from O'Sullivan, who gets Tralee on target with a really, really good free from his own 65. Brilliantly done from him, and an early lead for the side that have never won this competition and trying to recover from the heartbreak of losing, of course, the Hogan Cup against Mullingar earlier this week. They lead by a point to no score inside 2 minutes, and that's a great settling score as well for O'Sullivan. The restart will come from Donica Collins, the St. Pat's Maghera netminder, and that's a terrific pick out to this near side, and he finds PJ Glover. He's going to wind up for a shot. It just looks to be tailing to the left and wide, and indeed it is. It's a first wide of the game, and it comes for Maghera, who were looking for an instant response to the concession of that free from Matty O'Sullivan over on the far side. Keane Harris with the puck out, and he goes extremely high, and it does carry all the way through to the opposing 45 metre line. Possession loose and available as it's eventually spooned up by Hannafin, but possession has been relinquished, and bringing it away to safety is that man Glover once again as he looks long into the inside line. Fionn Carton is off in pursuit, but John O'Donovan, to his credit, got there first, and a little bit of a push in the back on the full back yields a free for CBS Tralee, and it'll be left for that man O'Sullivan to come back and take it. I don't think he's going to find the range from here, but he seems to be very much the designator free taker from all sorts of angles and situations as O'Sullivan belts it long from a central position, and just asked the forwards to get up and compete for it, and looking to get hands on it was Heaton, but once again Maghera negating the danger. There was possibly an advantage there, but the referee stopping the play, so it'll be a free instead for St. Pat's from their own 45 or just outside. Oren Doherty will be the man to take. As I said, beautiful conditions as both sets of benches over on the far side shielding the sun from their eyes, and the free taken by Doherty again. He's happy to lash it long, and that's dropping dangerously in around the house, and it needs a touch on the way through, and that is an absolutely monster score from Oren Doherty from his own 45, give or take. It needed every inch and sinew, and it needed a little touch on the way through from Harris, but it's a equalising score. Two monster frees, one from either side, has the teams on terms after almost 4 minutes, point apiece. And you would say a cagey start, as you would expect in a final, and nothing really to choose between the two sides. Too many steps taken on that far side by Ono Flaherty, one of the players who lit up the semi-final win against Portumna. Between himself, Owen Costello and Stephen Shanahan, they weighed in with 13 points in that semi-final victory. Of course, it was a dramatic victory for St. Pat's last weekend, as Callan had a goal ruled out in stoppage time to deny them victory at the death, as St. Pat's took their place in the final. Point apiece, 4.5 minutes on the clock, and another free to come over on that far side for Doherty. This one, a bit of an angle to deal with. Once again, he measures it to perfection. That is absolutely brilliant from him. 2 strikes, 2 scores, and St. Pat's in front for the first time at 2 points to 1 inside 5 minutes. Really, really good stuff from the centre-back Oren Doherty, who's had a fine start to the game with 2 excellent frees. Tralee trailing for the first time and looking for primary possession, but can't win it. That ball is just like a magnet to Doherty at the moment. Clears his lines. It could turn into a neat pass up the field as the battle for possession once again ensues. Carty looking to get onto it. So too was O'Kane, but it's mopped up comfortably in his own defence and cleared well by Sullivan. Tralee looking to forge an attack from this one. Their giant Costello alongside O'Halloran looking for possession. ruck ensues. Referee quite happy to let play go. It is Costello who comes out of the crowd and off his left side strikes it. Umpires have a good look at it and they like what they see. First score from play, lovely finish, short adjustment and a fine effort in the end from Owen Costello. The sides are level at 2 points apiece and things I feel are just warming up nicely. 6 minutes gone and Pat's utilising the short restart. It's Padder P.O. Peoples, what a name, probably a prize in search for a name like that, and chance here for Pats to get a score away. Shot comes in and that is an excellent effort as well. Porrick O'Kane, the man who just came out, dipped his shoulder outside the 45, found the range, 3 points to 2. It's been an exhibition really of shooting thus far from both sides, but it is St. Pat's who lead it. Approaching 6.5 minutes by 3 points to 2, and the line ball over on the far side will go in favour of the Derry side. Breeze, just looking at the Ireland flag over on that far side, does seem to be blowing across the field, possibly ever so slightly in favour of the Derry school in this first half, but as I said, it's probably not too significant. Line ball taken on the far side by PJ Glover. Gets a really good clean connection on it. Rian Collins had to reach for that one, but possession is back in the hands of the Tralee school as they look to forge an attack. Once again beautifully controlled by Owen Costello down on this near side, trying to get away from the attentions of P.O. Peoples, but he's pulled back unceremoniously and it'll be a free in to Tralee. Costello causing problems in the early exchanges. He's such a delicate player, but a lovely close control, and he's got an opportunity here to get his second point in quick succession. One coming from play a couple of moments ago. This a free taking situation to the right of the post. Just composes himself midway between the 45 and 65. Strikes well, draws it in. That's class. Absolutely brilliant from Costello. He's got 2. CBS have 3, and it is 3 points apiece, and things very finely poised in the opening 8 minutes of this one. Restart to come once again from Collins, who looks to this stand side of the field, and it's just a chop on the way through there by Cathal McCluskey, and the free goes in favour of Tralee, who will have it just outside their own 45. They've scored 9 goals and 124 points, which equates to 151 in 6 games, averaging just over 25. Tralee. Maghera, in comparison, they've scored 6 goals more in just 5 games, which equates to 1583, 128 points, and they themselves just averaging over 25. So they stats very evenly matched between these two sides. Possibly more of a goal threat in the St. Pat's or Maghera side, as well. The short restart is utilised brilliantly to find Lean, who has all the time in the world to compose himself, strike, but the shot in the end tails to the left, and it tails to the left and wide. It's a first wide for CBS Tralee. Possibly Brodie Lean had a little bit more time than he realised to get the strike away. Restart once again is picked out. Collins to Peoples. Those two have that almost telepathic understanding as O'Kane, that's Sean O'Kane this time, dips into his own half back line. Ball just cushion to the side, and Carton checks back on himself, buys himself some room, shot comes in, and umpire just gives the nod of approval to the umpire on the near side to say put the flag up and put Pats back in front at 4 points to 3. Lovely finish from Fionn Carton. Knew exactly what he was doing and just ducking back from the attentions and finding the range. 4 points to 3 to Pats, and that seems to be the trend in this first half so far. Pats just finding scores a little bit easier, you would say, than Tralee at the moment in time. They lead by 1, 4 points to 3 as we approach the 10th minute of this first half here in Coralstown. Kinney Gadd, line ball to come on this near side for Stephen Shanahan, the man from Crotto O'Neill's. One of 5 in the starting 15 from that particular club, as the line ball just deviates towards the right hand side, and it's well defended back there by the side in white. who can clear upfield thanks to Dahi McCluskey. Not the best of balls though, and it will come back with a fair degree of interest, and it's 2v2 inside. The ball is broken favourably for Shanahan, but he's lost possession. You have to say the scramble defence from the Derry School impressive so far, and they can work it down through the channels. Here is Glover in possession as he looks to turn provider once again. Porrick O'Kane scampers after that one over on the far side. Lovely check inside. He has got time, and his shot just didn't get off the ground really. He might get another opportunity at it because he's regained possession to his credit. The pass a little bit slightly off. Carton just arrives on scene, and with the short grip it was Rian Collins who got the shot away, but it tails to the left and it goes to the left and wide. Second wide for Pats. 4 points to 3 it remains, as Cian Harris from Tralee Parnells composes himself before launching it long over towards their dugout, but mopped up brilliantly by Darragh O'Neill, the full-back from St. Pat's. Hogan Cup winners, of course, last year. Tralee beaten finalists earlier this week. This is a strong solo and run down through the middle of the field from McCluskey. This would be some score if he could get it, but the umpire waves it to the right and wide. He did all the hard graft and engineering the opportunity for himself, but the final finish in the end, what was lacking. Interesting contrast in puckouts as well. Harris far content in just holding things up. The opposing number, Collins, seems to be eager to get possession back in straight away, but it works out well here for Tralee as O'Sullivan tries to find a way through, but his opposing number, Gallagher, comes away from defence with the ball for Pats as he launches it down the field. Once again, Tralee out in front. That's terrific cornerback play, brilliantly done by Brandon Lean, who looks long. It's a really, really good pass, collected inside by Heaton. He dishes it off, and a first-time finish is absolutely brilliant from Rory O'Halloran. He just pulled on the loose ball, improvisation at its finest, and the first goal of the game arrives for CBS Tralee, and it's finished by their centre-half forward, Rory O'Halloran. Brilliant piece of play. And you have to give credit to the cornerback, Brandon Lean, who won possession in his own half back line, sent it long, ball was broken down well, and the Ballyhaig clubman made no mistake in firing to the net from close range to put his side back in front by 2 points. 1-3 to 4. We've had almost 13 minutes in this first half, and that's neatly through the hands. Lovely combination play and shot coming in here by Sean O'Kane, but he just shanked at it slightly and it's gone to the left and it's gone wide. And the wides, you feel, just starting to mount for St. Pat's and Maghera. They've had 4 now and trail by 2 after 13 minutes. They have had the lion's share of the chances. This time Harris happy to go long, taking the return, just delayed, and there was a few oohs and ahs from the crowd, but he got his clearance away to safety as Doherty sweeps up possession once again for St. Pat's. Looks for his full forward Rian Collins, who just comes out towards the middle of the field to try and get on ball and make things happen. Dishes possession off well, recycled back outside. Chance here for Glover. He takes on the strike, but that one is tailing to the right. It's kept in by Harris, who watched it all the way through and clears his lines. A little bit of a foot race on over on the far side. Quite isolated at the moment is Ono Flaherty, but he does well to keep possession in with 2 would-be challengers, and on he goes. His shot dipping dangerously out round, and it's flicked in, and it could well be an own goal. I'm not quite sure about that, but it's finished nonetheless, and it's a second goal at double quick time. The ball came in, and not quite sure if there was a mix-up. Oisin Heaton will claim it, but not quite sure if there was a touch of the way through from St. Pat's and Maghera. In truth, it doesn't really matter from a Tralee standpoint. We will credit it to Oisin Heaton. I'm sure he'll want it, and I doubt the Pats players in question will be looking to claim it either. But it's 2 goals in double quick time for CBS, the Green of Tralee, who lead this game now by 5 points, 2-3 to 4. And you feel Pats need a response. Can they get it from Carton, who bears down on goals? He might look all the way through. Can he get his shot away? Takes a few steps. Referee says he's hopped it twice and possibly 3 possessions, and free out. Good scramble defence once again from the team in the ascendancy. You can't blame the centre half forward Fionn Carton for trying to force the issue and look for an immediate response with the goal, but free out to come for Tralee, who had a number of players involved last weekend, I should say, on St Patrick's Day. Ono Flaherty, Mikey Carden and Ryan Hurley. Killian Hurley also featured off the bench in Crow Park in that narrow defeat to Mullingar in the Hogan Cup decider, as the ball is set long, and once again they pick up the second ball and over the head. That's a lovely finish. It's Stephen Shanahan who's got the score, and they seem to be quite happy to look long and pick up the breaks, and they are the team making hay at the moment. They lead by 2 clear goals, 2-4 to 4. Possession, well, you feel is important for St Pat's, and vitally important that they get the next score, or this game could get away from them. 16 minutes on the clock, as that's a great take by Collins, who tries to beaver his way through. Collins looks for a ball over the head. Referee is playing the advantage. He will pull it back for the free just outside the 20-metre line from his central position. And a good bit of play from Rian Collins. Took the restart from his goalkeeper, Donica Collins, and drove on, showed a nice bit of skill to flick the ball over the head of the advancing challenges, and he was chopped down. It will be a free in for Collins, and surely he will just take his point from here and just get Pats back on the straight and narrow. It's been a turbulent couple of minutes for them. Tralee not taking any chances. They've got 5 players back on the goal line. Collins lifts and strikes and pops it over. They're back on course, and they'll need plenty more of that from their full forward Rian Collins, who gets his first score of the afternoon from a free and ends their drought. 17 minutes gone, and there is 5 points, I should say, between the sides, as once again that diagonal ball cut out back there. Doherty just lost his footing as he attempted to lift possession, but does win it at the second time of asking. Happy to go through the hands to find McNichol again. Collins is the intended target as he gets there first in front of Luke Hanifin and just shakes off the challenges off his left side. This will be a terrific score, and you just feel he's coming to prominence brilliantly. He's got 2 in quick succession, but he does seem to be the man driving at Tralee at this moment in time, and he's got 2 in quick succession, and he's narrowed the gap back down to 4 now. It's 2-4 to 6 with almost 18 minutes gone, as that ball is batted away, but very invitingly into the path of Luke Hanifin, whose attempted passes blocked down. Still possession there for Tralee, and here is Ono Flaherty, quite content to recycle possession back outside. Strike coming in by their giant captain Killian Hurley, but it takes a touch on the way through. Umpire waves it wide. In the end there was appeals for a 65, but nothing forthcoming, and it will be accredited to a second wide for the Tralee side, and that is once again a terrific restart to find Niall McNichol out round the centre of the field as he quickly gets in possession. Again, another great stick in there by Lean, but he can only divert the ball into the path of the deadly Carton. Ball comes back, and the strike first time might just carry. It does, you know. Really good score. Niall McNichol, terrifically done. He knew exactly what he was doing. There was a little bit of a gasp from the St Pat supporters. Niall McNichol knew exactly what he was doing, and a little fist pump as well to boot. That's 3 in a row, you know, and the margin is back to 3 inside 19 minutes. 2-4 plays 7 points. Ball broken down and claimed by Sean O'Kane. We're in the number 15, but marauding out round the centre of the field. Once again, Ryan Hurley does well to win possession back for Tralee. But you just feel Pats gradually warming to their task, as McEldowney is the man foul there, and you can feel the temperature rising from the stand beside us, and indeed on the field at the moment. It's Pats who are enjoying a nice purple patch at this moment in time, and another opportunity coming up here for Rian Collins, midway between the Tralee 45 and 65, ever so slightly to the left of the posts. He's scored 2 of their last 3 points, 1 from play and 1 from a free. This a little bit more difficult just with the angle, but ideal conditions for him. Socks pulled up, TJ Reid-esque. He's an absolute marksman. Let's see if he can live up to the billing. Of course he can. Absolutely brilliant. Love when that happens, as Collins strikes over his 3rd. And it's fine momentum at this moment in time for St Pat's and Maghera. That's 4 unanswered points. And with 20 minutes gone, the margin is back down to 2, and it's now Tralee who need to find a response. That's a risky crossfield pass. A little bit slow in arriving on the scene was Hurley, and he just gave Pats the opportunity to just steal in, and it's Peoples who does that as he plays it long. Possession once again picked up at the second time of asking by Carton. Looks for a diagonal ball across the far side. Might just work. It was Porrick O'Kane trying to get his hands to that one. Referee says no free there, and credit to O'Kane. Wins it back. Tight angle, but it just goes to the left and wide. 5th wide now for St. Pat's Maghera. And Porrick O'Kane, having worked so hard to get his hands on ball, eventually just pulls the shot left and wide in the finish. 2-4 to 8 to Tralee it remains, and referee has spotted a little bit of a push that time on Ono Flaherty, and it will be a free in to Tralee, and welcome free, it has to be said, albeit just inside the 45-metre line, I think. So Owen Costello will come across to take it. 2 points to his credit so far, 1 from a free and 1 from open play. This a decent angle for him, situated with a very nervous dugout in and around him as well. Costello steps up and confidently dispatches that particular free, and it's a big score for Tralee. They'd just gone into their shell over the last few moments, conceded the last 4 points, but that, you feel, just a settling score for them in the 22nd minute. It's now 2-5 to 8, 3 points between the sides. And Maghera looking to win possession over on that far side. Linesman gives the decision in favour of the side in dark blue and yellow. And it'll be a line ball. Well, in fact, he's given it the opposite way. Initially, he had flagged for it to be a CBS. It could have been a chop there, possibly a free has been awarded instead. So a chance here for St. Pat's, and it will be that man, Rian Collins. Tight to the touchline over on that far side. It is a line ball, in fact, and he's not struck it as well as he would like, and he can only give it to the impressive Brandon Lean, who quickly lofts possession high, and it could be collected this time by Stephen Shanahan, and he has a little bit of time and space to get away from Doherty. His shot is hanging in the air. It might just be kept in fact, and it was dropped short in the end, but it's confidently brought away to safety. And really strong running this time by Gallagher up the field, gets up as far as halfway, tries to play a ball down the left-hand channel, and it's collected by Porrick O'Kane, looking for the free. Referee says play on, and he tried to knock it into the ground and into the hands, but it's Hurley who can bring it away to safety as he plays possession back off, and it's a huge hit, but really well taken by Killian Hurley. Offloads possession to Rochford, who takes on a strike, and it's pulled to the right and wide. 3rd wide now for Tralee. 3 points the margin remains, with what have we, 6.5 minutes left to play in this first half. A very entertaining first half, but the 2 goals crucial in that little spell that Tralee enjoyed in giving them their 3-point advantage at this stage. But you do feel Pats will come strong, and they have goals in their ranks, as we said. 15 already in this year's campaign, averaging 3 goals a game. Yet to really forge a clear goal scoring opportunity for themselves so far, as Doherty plays possession long. Foot race on once again, but it's that man Lean who's surely been pushed in the back. Referee says no. Possession still there for Tralee, but they've coughed it up now, and Pats might have an opportunity. And well, you just have to spare a thought that time for PJ Glover. He lost his footing, and he was adjudged to have thrown the ball. Certainly not intentional, but possibly the right call in the end from the Tipperary official, Cian Ryan. And it will be a free from round about halfway for Tralee, and they will summons that man Matthew O'Sullivan to come forward and take this one. He's got 1 to his credit thus far, just inside the opposition half. We have a little over 5 minutes of normal time left to play in this first half, as things quieten down, and give respect to Matthew O'Sullivan, who will step up from the central position and attempt to put his side 2 clear scores clear again. Strikes it well and true, really good, so composed, very little drama in it. And he gets his second point of the day. Excellent long range free taker. Oh, that's a risky ball, and well collected at the second time of asking by Niall McLickle. Has his wits about him, and he offloads it to Doherty. Looks for the pass this time inside. The ball finds Porrick O'Kane, who steals away. He's going to take on a shot! Oh, brilliant from Porrick O'Kane. Low into the bottom left-hand corner. We talked about their goal-scoring pedigree, and O'Kane just needed one-sider of it to finish beautifully into the bottom left-hand corner. And it's very much game on now. One between the sides. It's 1-8 to St. Pat's, 2 goals and 6 to CBS Tralee, and it's possession once again for the Derry School, as well. That one through the hands, not the best of balls, it has to be said, to Rian Collins. Ruck ensuing from roundabout halfway. Referee quite content to let play develop, and it's Tralee who look to wrestle back the initiative thanks to Ono Flaherty. He goes back to his half back. That's Hanifin. He looks down the channel. The intention is to find Heaton, but Pats quickly get across to the scene, but Tralee still working away to try and forge out a scoring opportunity for them, and the referee gives a free. You would say maybe of the soft variety to Owen Costello, but a free nonetheless. 3.5 minutes left to play in this first half, and it's a free in for CBS Tralee, as this game has just been on a little bit of a knife edge over the last 10 minutes or so. Tralee lead, but their lead greatly reduced. They had led by 6 points at one stage. This would open back up a 2-point margin between the sides, and Costello once again finds the range, pops it over and makes it 2-7 to a goal and 8 to the Kerry side. Puck out to come from Donncha Collins once again as he looks to the centre of the field. Ball bounces, and it's Tralee who have looked to get their hands on ball first, but Pats quickly get bodies in, and the ball just spills loose from the crowd of bodies that were in there, and it's well picked up by Hurley, who's fouled as he was coming out of defence, so it'll be a free to CBS just outside their own 45. We have a little over 2 minutes left to play in this first half. Referee going to brandish the first yellow card of the game in the general direction of Cathal McCluskey. So first yellow of the match, and this a free for O'Sullivan just outside his own 45-metre line from a central position, not too dissimilar to the one in which Oran Doherty had scored down the other end earlier in the half for St. Pat's of Maghera. Here is O'Sullivan, 2 points already to his name. This, he doesn't catch it as he would like, and quickly batted away to safety by Glover, but possession still there as Costello lays it off. Ball comes back out. Sun possibly in the eyes that time of Hurley, but he did well, and it's played back towards Hanifin. His is blocked down brilliantly by Cathal McCluskey, who picked up the yellow card a couple of moments ago, but he certainly redeemed himself with that little bit of play. Now, McEldowney across to his midfielder, Dahi McCluskey. He comes forward on the opposition 65, possibly a shot, but it's going to drift, and it could turn into a really decent pass in the end, but it's good full back play by John O'Donovan, not for the first time, and his jersey pulled as just as he was coming out of defence, and he's won a free out for his side, and it'll be left for the goalkeeper Cian Harris to come forward and take this. We are into the final minute of the 30, just waiting to see what stoppage time will be added. It's been pretty much a free-flowing game. There hasn't been too many stoppages, it has to be said, as the goalkeeper once again, you get huge height on that one, and it drops inside the 40-metre arc, but it's well picked up back there by Gallagher, who storms out of defence, but he's got 3 would-be challenges as he looks for the pass down that channel to Cathal McCluskey. Ball is in the hands of Hanifin. He helps it off the shot coming in, but again it drops short, but it's claimed in there brilliantly. It's that man Heaton takes on the strike off his left side. Really neat score. It's a goal and a point now for him, providing he does get credited with the second goal of the game for Tralee. He's got a point now to boot, and he's put 3 points between the sides. Into stoppage time we go. Can't imagine there'll be too much in the way of it, as the possession is claimed well by the man in the yellow cap. That's Mikey Corridon. And on he goes. Takes the shot on the run. It tails to the left. It's kept in back there. And opportunity here. Have they tagged on another one? You know they have. It's a really, really big spell, you feel, right at the end of this first half. And these scores could be absolutely crucial in the lead into half-time. The lead is coming from Jake Rochford, who knocks one over. And 4 points, you feel, is a decent lead at this moment in time. It's by no means critical or anything like that for St. Pat's, but crucial scores at the end of the half could be massive when you look back on the tail of the tape. But Pats might have one more opportunity before the break themselves, but that crossfield ball is cut out and it lands invitingly to O'Sullivan, who just launches it long. And why wouldn't he? The joy that they've had in there in this first half. And once again they're trying to pick up the second balls. Heaton trying to stoop to win possession for the Tralee outfit. Ball is back with Owen Costello, who just throws the hurl at that one but can't keep it in. The ball is carried out though by the goalkeeper Donncha Collins, and that will gift a 65 to Tralee with probably what will be the last act of the first half. And you just feel that could be just such a cheap score to cough up at the very end of the half. And O'Sullivan, well, you would fancy him, and he will fancy his chances from a position like this. They've already scored 3 points in a row. This would be a fourth for the man from Ballyheag. Can he knock it over ever so slightly to the right of the posts? So here's O'Sullivan. And such a clean strike of the ball, absolutely brilliant. But it's gone to the left and wide. The crowd, and myself included, thought that it looked good when it left his stick, but umpire far better placed than we are. Referee will call for the ball, and that will signal half-time here in Corralstown, Kinnegad. Tralee, they had led by 6 at one stage. Pats, well, they'd got the lead right back down to a point, but the last 3 points in the first half arriving for the Kerry School has given them decent half-time cushion of 4 points, but still plenty of work to be done. Both sides, you would imagine, will head to the dressing rooms at half-time, and we will take a suspiog and hand back to the studio with CBS Tralee leading St. Pat's of Maghera by 2 goals and 9 to 1 goal and 8 at the break. Played, and the strike is really, really good, and it carries all the way through. That's a terrific score. The free taken by Doherty again. He's happy to lash it long, and that's dropping dangerously in around the house, and it needs a touch for Doherty. This one, a bit of an angle to deal with. Once again, he measures it, comes out of the crowd, and off his left side, strikes it. Umpires have a good and chance here for Pats to get a score away. Shot comes in, and that just composes himself midway between the 45 and 65. Strikes well, draws it in. That's class. Absolutely brilliant. And Carton checks back on himself, buys himself some room. Shot comes in, and umpire Pats as he launches it down the field. Once again, Tralee out in front. That's terrific cornerback play, brilliantly done by Brandon Lean, who looks long. It's a really, really good pass, collected inside by Heaton. He dishes it off, and a first-time finish is absolutely brilliant. Over on the far side, quite isolated at the moment, is Ono Flaherty, but he does well to keep possession in with 2 would-be challengers, and on he goes. His shot dipping dangerously out round, and it's flicked in, and it could well be an own goal. I'm not quite sure. Ball is set long, and once again they pick up the second ball, and over the head, the goal line. Collins lifts and strikes and just shakes off the challenges off his left side. This would be a terrific score by Lean, but he can only divert the ball into the path of the deadly Carton. Ball comes back, and the strike first time might just carry. It does, you know. TJ Reid-esque. He's an absolute marksman. Let's see if he can live up to the billing. Of course he can. Go out in and around him as well. Costello steps up and scores clear again. Strikes it well and true. Really good. Well collected at the second time of asking by Niall McLickle. Has his wits about him and he offloads it to Doherty. Looks for the pass this time inside. The ball finds Porrick O'Kane, who steals away. He's going to take on a shot! Oh, brilliant from Porrick O'Kane! Up a 2-point margin between the sides. And it's that man Heaton takes on the strike off his left side. Really neat score. The left, it's kept in back there, and opportunity here. Have they tagged on another one? You know they have. Yes, folks, you're very welcome back to Coralstown Kinnegad as the teams have just re-emerged for the second half here of this year's Masita GA All-Ireland Post-Primary Schools Paddy Buggy Cup Senior B Hurling Final. A little bit of an extended half-time interval. Just saying to my cameraman Rob here beside me that it tends to be that way when teams head back for the dressing rooms at half-time, but doesn't appear to be anything in the way of changes. We'll keep an eye out and keep an ear out as well, but it does seem to be as you were for the start of the second half, and one just rogue selector making his way across the field, and he's dropped the programme. Can't be without that, so he's had to go back to pick that one up. So Cian Ryan sensibly deciding to hold off throwing in the ball for the start of the second half until that, and we are now back underway with CBS Tralee defending a 4-point lead in this second half, and they are in the box seat, but you fancy St. Pat's of Maghera won't go down without a fight, and they're starting on the front foot. Here is Rian Collins having a strike. A goalkeeper had to reach for that one, and didn't he improvise well by getting it away? Incredibly cat-like reflexes from Cian Harris to get it away from danger in the second time of asking. He almost put himself into trouble by trying to prevent the point, but really good in the end from the goalkeeper. But Pats will come again down this right side. Here is an opportunity for PJ Glover. Strikes it, it's dropping to the right, and it's dropping to the right and wide. It is a sixth wide now for St. Pat's of Maghera. It's first of the second half, as it's flicked on there for Tralee, looking for possession, just to pull back, and that was a really good spot. I think the offender was Ono Flaherty, and eagle-eyed referee Cian Ryan spotting that and giving the free to St. Pat's, which will be taken by Oren Doherty, a couple of metres in from the touchline on this near side, middleway between the 45 and 65 Pat's side of the field. Terrific long-range strikes from him in the first half. This one won't find the range, but it'll drop dangerously in and around the house, and it's just kicked away to safety. Anywhere will do back there at the moment, and again it's carried out. We've seen that at the end of the first half, and the 65 can't be prevented in the end by Brandon Lean. So an opportunity again for St. Pat's to get off the mark in the second half, of which 2 minutes are almost gone. They have started on the front foot, but yet to make any real inroads into the 4-point halftime lead for CBS Tralee, who still lead by 2-9 to a goal and 8. And the 65 to be taken by Rian Collins, man who wants to be on the Derry team in 10 years' time, and I think if he keeps going the way he's going, he certainly will do that. So Collins steps up for the 65 to get Pats that little bit closer to their opponents and narrowed the deficit to 3. A little bit of vocal encouragement for him. He's pulled that one to the left, and he's put it to the left and put it to the left and wide. Second wide already in this second half. That's 7 in all now for Maghera. And the radar just slightly off still in this second half. Tralee maintaining their 4-point advantage as Harris once again belts it up into the beautifully blue sky overhead. And it's coming out of the crowd is really well Ono Flaherty. He's taken close to the sideline, so he has to go back. Lovely interception that time by Cathal McCluskey, but it will be a line ball to CBS Tralee. And a chance for them to just quell the momentum to which Pats have been enjoying in the second half so far. It will be a line ball to be taken by the full forward, Stephen Shanahan from Crotto O'Neill's. Breeze possibly not even as strong as it was in the first half. It is a beautiful day out there. Conditions peak really at this stage. Shanahan just composing himself once again. The Derry contingent getting a little bit restless by the time in which he's taken. He doesn't get too much height on it, but in terms of distance it travelled right the way through, but it was well picked up back there by Niall McNichol, and he's been fouled high around the neck coming out of defence, so it'll be a free out to St. Pat's. 4 minutes have elapsed in this second half. Scoreline remains the same, and a 4-point lead still intact for CBS, the green. McNichol again, feeds it forward nicely to Glover. PJ Glover approaching the 45, strikes it. That's really good stuff. And they finally got their score, which they've been threatening really since flagfall in this second half. And it brings them back within 3. McNichol is having a quietly effective game, it has to be said. And that score was really well worked. And he pops it over. 3 between the sides. 2-9 plays 1-9. And Pats once again in possession. That was a good stick in there by Rochford just to try and wrestle back the initiative for Tralee. And indeed they do. Here comes O'Halloran coming through, and he was being fouled as he was trying to just lay off the pass in the end. And it'll be a free in from just outside the 20-metre line, and a chance for Tralee to get off the mark in this second half and re-establish that 4-point buffer that they had at half time. So it will be Costello. Who contributed 4 first half points to try and get off the mark in this second half. And does so with the minimum of fuss. 2:10 to a goal and 9. Costello, the joint captain from Tralee Parnells. Makes it 4 once again as the restart this time goes short from Dunick. Collins batted away to immediate safety, and Tralee have picked up possession out round halfway as Rochford tries to storm through. Really good block down that time by Porrick O'Kane, and that feeds it forward to Sean O'Kane. Now ball inside, and it is Collins. He's going to try and dance his way through. Loses possession of the Slater temporarily, and a good play from O'Donovan, the fullback. But Collins is determined to make something of this one, and they will get a score from it in the end. It's just cushioned over the bar neatly by Cathal McCluskey. Nice effort. Credit to Collins though, and his persistence really paying off, you would have to say. McCluskey does the rest in lofting the ball over to make it a 3-point game again. 2:10 to 1:10. Ball knocked down by Shanahan into the path of O'Flaherty. He's going to take on the shot. Tries to play it back on himself, but no, he's got it wrong. Goes wide on the near side. That's a 5th wide for Tralee, and a first of the second half as well. So 3 the lead remains. There's a change over on the far side for Tralee. Rochford makes way, and just trying to work out who it is coming on in his place. We'll get confirmation of that in a moment. The PA system, not the May West here in Carlstown, Kinnegad. Everything else is splendid, as is the weather, as Tralee come forward again. Shanahan was just a little bit off balance as he was trying to get a shot away, and enough pressure being applied for him to just skew the effort in the end. And Pats can bring it away to safety, and that is really, really smart play by Sean O'Kane. Just lets the ball beat him, then picks it up, gets the strike away on the run. That is absolutely brilliant from Sean O'Kane. That's the score of the game. Look no further than that from Sean O'Kane. And it brings them back within 2. Just the intelligence that he showed to let the ball over his head, and the advanced challenge. And the St. Pat's Mara supporters finding their voices once again, and they've won possession back there with Gallagher. Coming into him was Jason Gaynor, who I think is the substitute who's come on, wearing the number 18 jersey for CBS Tralee. A little bit telegraphed that pass, and that invites Tralee forward once again. Ono Flaherty on the run. Really strong stuff. Really good score. And just a big score, you feel. It gets them back 3 points to the good. And just keeps Pats at arm's length once again. 8 minutes have elapsed in this second half as PJ Glover tries a expansive crossfield ball. It's a terrific ball inside to find Collins. He's 1v1 with the fullback. Collins, what a good save that is from Harris. Absolutely brilliant. Low down to his right. It was a ferocious drive from Rian Collins, and he was denied splendidly by Cian Harris, who's had such a good day so far, and that certainly the highlight thus far. Brilliant stop, low to his right. It was arrowing into the bottom corner, and that would have brought things level. Down the other end, looking for an instant score, but it's tailed off to the left and wide for Tralee. That's a 6 wide for them. Second of the second half, 2 apiece in those stakes. 3 the margin remains as things heat up quite considerably. 2-11 plays 1-11. Short puck out, this time to find Oren Burke as he comes forward purposefully. Needs to lay it off, needs to find a colleague, does so in the form of Doherty. He's comfortable from these sorts of situations. Skies the shot, it's dropping dangerously around the house. Harris came, he didn't exactly get there, and he gets away with it because it just goes left and wide. And a mighty sigh of relief you feel for the Tralee contingent. Third wide of the second half for St. Pat's. Harris with the restart as he looks long over to the far side. And the substitute Jason Gaynor fresh into the action, trying to shovel possession back outside. Referee quite happy to let the play go. Here is the nonchalant and the fleet-footed Owen Costello, but he just takes a little bit too much out of it in the end, and St. Pat's can bring it away to danger. Lovely cornerback play that time by Peoples, but the pass a little bit poor. Corridon now. Ball just hit a little bit of a divot, and it didn't just come right back up to Hurley, but did in the end. He strikes it long, looking for Oisin Heaton inside, and that goal that he got in the first half is most definitely his goal. We had a look back on the replays at halftime. It was a terrific flick, whether he meant it or not. It's definitely his goal, and that is the goal that separates the sides at this moment in time. 2-11, but you feel there's quite a bit to go in this one as Collins, the enforcer-in-chief, tries to slide it into the path of McCluskey, who possibly just took his eye off the ball, literally and metaphorically. But here comes Collins on the charge once again, dishes it off to the on-rushing Dahi McCluskey. He's bearing down a goal, ball to the side, surely it must be, and it's played into the net by Fionn Carton. The sides are level. Brilliant finish from the centre half forward. Just took a turn to his left, opened up the angle and played it comfortably into an empty net. Sides level. 2-11 to 2-11. Fionn Carton with the goal. They have been the team in the ascendancy in this second half, and they've wiped out a 4-point half-time lead for CBS, but there's an advantage here for the substitute Gaynor, who's won the free. And just after the concession of the goal, you feel that is a crucial moment, and it just gives CBS the opportunity to hit back with a score and to go level. And there's just I think it's Pater P.O. Peoples who's down, and I think he just needs a joke at the moment, as we all do, after that whirlwind start to the second half, and it has left things beautifully poised with 18 minutes plus stoppage time to go here. And Peoples just makes his way across to the sideline, and he's not moving at all freely, and there might need to be a substitute readied on the far side if he isn't deemed fit enough to continue. Owen Costello meanwhile has the free to put CBS back in front. I love that. He just kind of faded it from left to right and knew exactly what he was doing. Such an accomplished free taking player. 2-12 now to 2-11. And Peoples has just ghosted back in from the sideline and wins possession from the restart. Really good from him. He seems to be fine. McNichol now. Down the channel he looks. Collins always available. Always looking to take possession. Always looking to carve out opportunities. And look at the vision to spot the pass over on the far side to Porrick O'Kane. I don't think even Porrick O'Kane himself was expecting it. So he's lost a little bit of ground. Composes himself once again. Winds up for the shot and finds the range. Absolutely brilliant. All down to the craft and the creativity really of Rian Collins, but credit to Porrick O'Kane who got the shot away in the end and levels the sides up once again at 2-12 apiece. What a good game this is. The Paddy Buggy Cup final. You attack, we attack, and that seems to be the mantra of the game over on the far side from the most acute of angles. Stephen Shanahan, that is absolutely brilliant. What a fine effort. And they won't go away, Tralee. They've been hit with the concession of the second goal in this second half, but they lead once again, 2-13 to 2 goals and 12, a point between the sides as we tick on closer to the three-quarter mark in this encounter. And Getting back to try and win possession was O'Donovan, the full-back. It's still a scrap for possession. Eventually it's Sean O'Kane who wins possession back and just somehow finds the pass. Is there a score at the end of it from Porrick O'Kane? Indeed, and there is. He's got 2 in a row for St. Pat's. He's really come to prominence in this second half. Sides level again, 2-13 apiece in the 45th minute. Harris launches it long, gets it up as far as the opposition 45, but well defended back there by Gallagher. Looks down the channel towards Collins, but this time Tralee in control of things. Here is Lean, that's Brody Lean. Looks long inside, quite a isolated figure, it has to be said, was Oisin Heaton, the man who said in 10 years' time he wants to be married to a good woman. If his goal is anything to go by, he shouldn't be stuck. But the referee has given a free in as Pats were bringing that away to safety. And again, you feel CBS are just living on scraps at the moment, but they're clinging on in there. They're making the most of these situations, and this will be another opportunity, you feel, for Owen Costello. From a central position, maybe slightly to the right of the post, but about 50 metres out from goals, to put CBS back in front again as we enter the 4th and final quarter of this game. Costello, who's been nigh on flawless from these sorts of situations, makes no mistake. And points once again. 2-14 to 2 goals on 13. 46 minutes gone almost, and it's Pats who look for Collins inside, and he was an unusual one. O'Donovan and himself, I think both had a hands on the sliotar, but ball eventually spills loose. It is O'Donovan who brings it away, and it's cleared up sides, but Pats will be first to it. And credit that time Dahi McCluskey. Referee says he was being held from a central position, and he got first to it, got hands on ball, and eventually yielded the free. So an opportunity for Oren Doherty, who weighed in with 2 points in the first half very early on. Chance for him to get his first of the second half, 3rd in all, and bring the sides level once again as he steps up, lifts, strikes right behind that, and that is sailing over the bar from a long, long way out. Brilliant from Doherty to get his 3rd, to bring the teams level once again. It is tit for tat as a change has been made over on the far side. St. Pat's, we think it's number 22, Ronan O'Loughlin, who's come on. And trotting off over on the far side is Colin McCluskey. Good shift by him. So a change of pace at this stage with 12.5 minutes plus stoppage time, of course, to go. The sides are deadlocked. It's levels your devils. And we have to have a winner today one way or another. Whether that takes extra time and beyond, who knows. Ryan Hurley, Zoran Burke rather, trying to clear his lines. Thought he might have got a free in the end, but in the end has to knock it out over the sideline. It will be a line ball to the green. And Shanahan seems interested in this one, just about a metre in from the 45, metre or two further advanced, in close proximity to the Pats substitute bench and management who are over there. An opportunity for Shanahan. Strikes it much better this time around. Looks for the ball inside towards Heaton, but it rebounds favourably, and that will be a free out for a high challenge on the 13-metre line for Pats, who do seem to be the side hurling the better at the moment, but still yet to hit the front. And that's all credit to Tralee for how well they've really dug in at various different stages doing likewise here and having possession from round about halfway, but Pats swarming around in their numbers. Ball comes back as far as Killian Hurley. He relinquishes possession and Pats have got the decision and they've got a free as well. Really good play. Oren Burke, who was in the thick of the action a couple of moments ago, is so once again, and the ball will be hit back for Oren Doherty to come forward and have a look at this one. And there's another change in the offing for CBS Tralee. Rory O'Halloran makes way, scored that great goal in the first half. And on his place comes the number 28, Alex Relihan, the one of the Crot O'Neill's club. So changes a foot. Meanwhile, Doherty strikes it. It just lingers in the air. It's an absolute monster. Some score. He's got 4. And crucially, he's put his side back in front. Back-to-back scores for him. Back-to-back scores for St. Pat's. And they lead this game for the first time since the 5th minute of the game with 10 minutes to go. Could that be a decisive moment to get them back in front? Will they push on, or will CBS, the Green Tralee, find a response? The onus is on them now. Reminder, they led this game by 6 points at one stage. They now trail it by a point. They need to find some magic. Shanahan can provide that, but this one is tailing and dropping in and around the house. Heaton tries his utmost to get hands on ball, but once again it's mopped up brilliantly back there by Pats, who have just seemed to get the measure. There was times in that first half where they were at 6s and 7s back there. Far more accomplished. Look at this for a ball. Over to the far side to find the substitute, O'Loughlin. His shot is wayward, but Collins might just keep it in. He just turns on that one and with terrific close control does so. Can he engineer some room for himself? Unselfishly plays the ball back out to the edge of the 40-metre arc. There's a chance here for Sean O'Kane to strike and put his side 2 points clear, and he does so. That's 3 in a row. The O'Kanes have had huge second halves, as have that man Collins, who's just such a focal point inside. 52 minutes almost gone. There's 2 points between the sides. Tralee just looking a little bit devoid of ideas and creativity in this second half, and once again defensively Pats getting the decision, and Caelan Gallagher doing ever so well back in his own 45, and Doherty will take his time over this one. There's another change coming for CBS momentarily, but it's about game management now, you feel, for the Derry side. And going off, it seems to be Luke Hannafin, and coming on in his place, is it the number 24 possibly? Number 20. That is Darragh O'Flaherty, who's come on. 8 minutes to go, plus stoppage time. Doherty has a free. He's just nicked a couple of yards. Funny, when we were looking at the sub, we look back at the free, just slightly differently positioned. Every yard counts at this stage, and he gives it a right good lash into the 13 and into the box, and well, this time Tralee have brought it away from immediate danger. They need to find scores, and they need to get them quickly, but again, three possessions taken that time by Brodie Lean, and the referee has been up to that right from the start of this game, and it's a free in ultimately at the end of all of that for St. Pat's, and Collins will take his time with this one and attempt to put his side 3 points clear. You do feel that they are the ones, the far more likely victors at this stage, and have been from a long way out after that second goal arrived. So Rian Collins, from round about 40 metres out, strikes it well and puts it over. 4 in a row now. They are making their move. You wouldn't say Tralee are just in the territory that they need goals just yet, but certainly not a million miles away from that. There's another change back there for Tralee. Killian Hurley has gone off. Just get confirmation as to who's come on. So Lee Rochford has come back on. We'll see in a couple of moments. 3 between the sides with 6 minutes plus stoppage time to go. Pats by 2-17 to 2 goals and 14. Defensively, they've been excellent in the second half, and the foot race is on here, and the ball just wouldn't fall right in the end for Porrick O'Kane, but possession still there. There was a heavy hit coming in around the midfield, and the offender was Brodie Lean with just a frontal shoulder really, and I don't think he can have too many complaints about that one, but the end result will be a free in to St. Pat's, and you feel this is perfectly within the range for Oran Doherty to size it up. He's got a chance to just gather his breath. There's a couple of players down at the moment, one of whom is Fionn Carton. He's just been assessed at the moment. Also Darragh O'Neill, the fullback for St. Pat's, just getting some attention at the moment. Plenty of water been dished around the place as well. Really warm day out there. We have 5 minutes to go, and this, well, to put 2 clear scores between the sides, should Doherty raise another white flag. He's got 4 already so far. There was a yellow card in the aftermath to that one for Brodie Lean, who I don't think can have too many complaints about that one. Was high and not so handsome with the challenge. So Doherty, the man from Slaughtneil, one of 4 in the starting 15 from Slaughtneil. Not his best, but it might just carry all the way through. And when you're having a good day, shots like that just go over. And he's having a really good day. That is 5 on the spin now for St. Pat's, 3 of which have arrived from the stick of Doherty, who's got 5 in all now. He's had a terrific game, approaching the 56th minute. Pats, well, they've taken their time, but they have just found their groove when it's really mattered in this second half, and they seem to be the team kicking for home. Do Tralee have anything left? They look like a tired team at this stage. They've given it everything, but inside 4 minutes plus stoppage time, of course, to go. Well, the game is in the palm of St. Pat's Maghera's hands, and they've got a line ball over on the far side just inside the 65. Line ball driven down the line, not the best, and it's hit straight to Darragh Flaherty, the substitute, who looks long to try and find Oisin Heaton, who did flick it on, but lacking a little bit of support up there, and things starting to open up down the other end as Collins looks to get possession. He's gone to ground, no free forthcoming, so Costello can bring it away to safety. He's everywhere at the moment, he just has to be. They need him further up the field. Here is Ryan Hurley. Hurley just drops it in and around the area. It's gone all the way through, but really good defending back there by Gallagher. He's such a strong player coming out of defence, and the ball upsides, and there was a little push in the back too on Porrick O'Kane, and on Sean O'Kane rather, and he's won the free, and it's been brought forward for descent, and this will make the job of Oran Doherty, one would presume, a little bit easier than it would have been had he had to take it from inside his own 65. 57 and a half minutes on the clock, 4 between the sides, 2.5 minutes plus stoppage time to go. And you have to credit Pats in the way in which they've managed things so far since they've got in front. And CBS Tralee have gone 12 minutes without a score as well, which hasn't helped their cause, but 5 points unanswered. This potentially a 6th for Doherty would give them another added cushion at this stage. Strikes it well. This one just hangs on, and greeted with a chorus of cheers over to her right. Oran Doherty has had just a dream day really here in Coralstown, Kinnegad on All-Ireland final day. And they're kicking for home. That is 6 points unanswered now, and that's a great shoulder over Stephen Shanahan, and the line ball will go the way of St. Pat's. And the ball is in the hands of Pater P.O. Peoples, who was looking for somebody else to come and take it off him. He's just going to set the ball up for PJ Glover. Linesman on this near side just telling a couple of the players to drop back a little bit. So PJ Glover to take it, drives it long, hits the stick of Porrick O'Kane, but he can't hang on to it as Ryan Hurley brings it forward. Now a little bit of open road for Shanahan. Can he find a score or even find a colleague? Does manage to lay the ball off, but he was adjudged to have thrown that one. Very similar to the one that we seen in the first half where he lost his footing, and possibly that affected his intentions of hand passing the ball. But everything's just going against CBS Tralee, you feel, in this second half. Credit to Pats though, the duress that they're putting up, and the Maghera chance coming from our right hand side. 30 seconds of the 60 to go, plus stoppage time of course, but 5 points to lead. It feels like it's just going to be a test too far in the end for CBS Tralee, as Doherty this time plays the ball into space over on that far side. O'Loughlin wins it, goes to ground, has another opportunity, tries to find a pass away, still scrapping for it, but it's Tralee who bring it away, and that's a heavy challenge on Hurley, who goes to ground just outside the 45. Referee Cian Ryan will just have another little bit of paperwork to do here, and it'll be a yellow card, one would assume, for Fionn Carton, which I don't think will bother him too much at this stage of the game. Yellow card brandish, but we have entered stoppage time. 5 points between the sides. They need a goal, Tralee. This one will be lofted in by Matty O'Sullivan, and to his credit has driven it right in there. It's flicked on, there is a chance, but credit to Pats, they come away from it and they drive it long and they clear their lines up sides. Collins off in pursuit, that ball will just hang on, and it's picked up brilliantly by Carton, who's been challenged by Luke Fitzmaurice, who's also come on. Ball in the hands of Brandon Lean, drives it long. It's just a cluster of bodies inside the 20-metre line down there. Possession crucial, and once again it's that man Doherty who's come away with it and tries to clear it, does find his intended target. That's PJ Glover, who's put in a hell of a shift this afternoon. They're almost there. Minute of stoppage time has come and gone as Porrick O'Kane gets his hands on ball, not for the first time in this second half, goes to ground, looks for a free. He's got 3 challengers around him and eventually does cough up possession, but Hurley just has to launch it long inside. It's 2v2 in there, but Heaton can't make anything of it, and the ball tails off and wide. It's a 7th wide for Tralee. 90 seconds of stoppage time have elapsed, and it's at the discretion of the match referee Cian Ryan deciding on how much longer we play. But the fact of the matter is they've gone 16 minutes without a score, Tralee, and in that time Pats have been absolutely ruthless. They've got 6. Can Collins add a 7th? He'll play it inside. There's a goal on here as O'Kane plays it across. That'll be a penalty. Goalkeeper Harris came out to try and narrow the angle, but in the end could only succeed in fouling Ronan O'Loughlin, and it will be a penalty for Rian Collins. And there's all sorts of shenanigans breaking out down to our left here. These are unsavoury scenes right at the end of this game. It's been played in a really good spirit up to now, but something has just triggered it in the last couple of moments, and really disgraceful scenes, really, and no need for it at this stage. The die has been cast. There's a penalty to come for St. Pat's, but before that is taken, well, the referee Cian Ryan is just going to have some sorting out to do here, and he's going to have to consult with his linesmen and umpires to possibly get to the bottom of what sparked that, really. As we said, no real need for it at this stage. And tempers rising here on the sideline as well. So Cian Ryan just goes in and has a word with his umpires. There's a blue smoke bomb let off as well down here, which has just changed the colour slightly of what you will be seeing on the screens at the moment as the referee comes back out, and is going to call in one of the CBS Tralee players, Stephen Shanahan, who had ducked away, but he's been called back in along with, no, it's not, in fact I think it's Owen Costello, their joint captain, who's received a yellow, as has the number 7 Dan McEldowney. And after all of that, a couple of yellows really, 4.5 minutes of stoppage time have elapsed. There's a penalty to remind you to come for St. Pat's of Maghera, and Rian Collins has had a long time to think about this one and plot as to what he might do with it. There's going to be some cards brandished as well to the goalkeeper Keane Harris for his part to play in that penalty, and it's a yellow card for the Tralee netminder. But Collins will step up, 5 points to lead. It's a weird thing to say, but he could probably afford to go for goal and not worry about the consequences if he doesn't score. Will he just opt to take his point at this stage? You would probably imagine the full forward will go for glory, and you couldn't blame him for that at this stage. He's had a really fine game, and this would crown it off rightly for the full forward. Up he steps, faced by Harris, who's had a really good game too for Tralee. Collins, oh, he's absolutely arrowed it into the bottom right hand corner. It tops it off nicely. The scoreline, it has to be said, looks a little bit harsh on the Tralee side, but when the game was there to be won, St. Pat seized the moment, and Collins gets his goal and puts a little bit of sugar on the scoreboard from a Maghera perspective, as the shot cross comes in, but it's just gone wide in the end, and we have played 6 minutes of stoppage time. That was an 8 wides apiece, by the way. It is all academic though, as St. Pat's flood the field. They are All-Ireland Senior B hurling champions, and they have won it. Tralee crestfallen in the end. They were 6 points up at one stage in that first half, the 2 goals arriving in quick succession, but credit to the Derry side. They never pressed the panic button, and they trusted the process, and they got themselves back into this game, and they really did boss the closing stages, hitting a goal and 6 unanswered in the final 15 or 16 minutes of the game to capture things. And it's a brilliant win for them, and they will shortly collect the Paddy Buggy Cup. Of course, Paddy Buggy, an All-Ireland winner with Kilkenny. He was also GA president, elected back in 1982. The cup is named after him, and we will have the presentation in a few moments' time to a St. Pat's side who have won this cup for the 4th time in their history, the first since 2011. And it's a great success for them as the officials leave the field down in front of us. The stewards are just trying to keep all supporters off the field for the moment, which I think is the sensible thing, until at least the presentation has been made to the winning team, St. Pat's of Maghera. It's a 4th title in their history, and the team just all congratulating themselves over there. Tralee being consoled over to our right. There's still a few Tralee players down on their left. They have given it one hell of an effort in their first Senior B All-Ireland final here this afternoon, but it's all in vain in the end. The winners, the goals coming from Porrick O'Kane, Fionn Carton, and that late penalty from Rian Collins, putting the icing on the cake from a St. Pat's Maghera perspective. And they will shortly be presented with the Paddy Buggy Cup in front of us here. And there will be great celebrations back up there tonight. Of course, they won the Hogan Cup last year, the football and equivalent. Tralee, it's a tough week for them, beaten in back-to-back finals on St. Paddy's Day, and now here this afternoon and especially for the dual players who featured in both games, likes of Ono Flaherty, Mikey Corrigan, Ryan Hurley, Killian Hurley, who all put in huge games today, but it would have been a difficult task to lift themselves from the disappointment of losing to Mullingar in the Hogan Cup. Supporters not too pleased about not getting onto the field here, but the presentation, well, the sooner the better you feel it takes place, really. One, we can get off stream, and two, the supporters can then embrace their friends, their family, their colleagues, and celebrate properly as they make a right bit of noise down here in front of us. We will have reaction to come as well shortly after the presentation. But it's Maghera who make their way towards the stand to be presented with the Paddy Buggy Cup. And indeed, their captain, Rian Collins, who will lift it in a couple of moments. And Pat's celebrating. Emotions, as you'd imagine, running high, but we will cross for the presentation now, and the formalities as Rian Collins is presented with the Paddy Buggy Cup.
Paddy Buggy Cup. I suppose it's a great day to be here in Kinnegad on such a fine, sunny, good hurling day for such a fantastic game of hurling. Couple of people I want to thank. First, I want to thank our referee, Cian Ryan, for doing an excellent job, and all his officials, and also to thank all the referees all year who've refereed all our schools games. It's much appreciated, especially across the winter. To, I suppose, the people who coordinate things in the background, Dara Cox and Karen Toher and Kieran Farmer in Croke Park, as well as Owen Ryan, Adrian Hassett, Noel Delaney and Sarah Gagan around the country, and they do a huge job in getting all our games played on time so that we can have these fantastic occasions like we had today. A big thank you to our sponsors, Masita, who've been, Des and his company have been looking after us for a good few years now, so I want to say thanks to them. I suppose to every teacher who tugs out and takes a team and puts in the effort. Teaching is becoming a far more onerous job in the classroom than ever before, so it's great to see people willing to take that time and effort to take our teams and coach them, and so that we can have a fantastic day with two great teams playing out their skins here today. I also want to thank clubs like Kinnegad here who provide us with facilities every time we need them, and I'm going to go back to, especially across the winter, where a lot of clubs are trying to mind their pitches, but they always let us in to play schools games, so we really appreciate your help on that front. I suppose before we present the cup, I just want to say well done to both teams today. What a fantastic game of hurling, end-to-end stuff, everyone fighting for every ball, very fair way. And I know this is not news to anyone here in this stand, but for the rest of the country to realise and see the work that's gone into hurling in Derry and Kerry, and that's testament to the quality of the hurling we've out there today. Any of you would hold your place at the top table, so it's great to see that happening, and long may hurling develop in every county in the country. So well done, everyone. So it's just two final points to make. First of all, to Tralee, it is very to lose two All-Ireland finals in the week. Out to you. Worked hard in both games. You're a credit to your school and everybody behind you, and the way you carried yourself in both finals. We just want to say a big thank you to you from Irbun Skull and Maghera. But I suppose today is Maghera's day. That's Maghera to have won the Hogan Cup last year, and to turn out today to win the Paddy Buggy Cup. That shows huge versatility. So you'll be glad to hear Neil on Corn, Paddy Buggy, a runner, our captain, the foreigner, Rian Collins.
Firstly, I'd like to thank the officials, the referee, the linesman. The referee to such a high standard there today. The hurling there was unbelievable. So thank you. To Tralee, fair play to you. You're in the football and the hurling. You hold the jewel to the same standard, much like we try to do in Maghera. And fair play to you. It's tough to do the both, but you do it very well. So fair play to you. Lastly, I'd like to say to the management, Tiernan, Paul, Joe, Sean Murray, Chrissy, everybody involved. There's too many names to name there. The work you've put in all year, all last year, it's paid off here today. And finally, I'd like to say, there's a man that wasn't able to be here today. Paul has put serious effort into hurling in the school and everything that's Maghera. So this here's for him. Thank you.
Played, and the strike is really good, and it carries all the way through. That's a terrific score. The free taken by Doherty again. He's happy to lash it long, and that's dropping dangerously in around the house, and it needs a touch for Doherty. This one, a bit of an angle to deal with. Once again, he measures it, comes out of the crowd, and off his left side, strikes it. Umpires have a good chance here for Pats to get a score away. Shot comes in, and that just composes himself midway between the 45 and 65. Strikes well, draws it in. That's class. Absolutely brilliant. And Carton checks back on himself, buys himself some room. Shot comes in, and umpire Pats as he launches it down the field. Once again, Tralee out in front. That's terrific cornerback play, brilliantly done by Brandon Lean, who looks long. It's a really good pass, collected inside by Heaton. He dishes it off, and a first time finish is absolutely brilliant. Over on the far side, quite isolated at the moment, is Ono Flaherty, but he does well to keep possession in with two would-be challengers, and on he goes. His shot dipping dangerously out round, and it's flicked in, and it could well be an own goal. I'm not quite sure. Ball is set long, and once again they pick up the second ball, and over the head, the goal line. Collins lifts and strikes and just shakes off the challenges off his left side. This will be a terrific score by Lean, but he can only divert the ball into the path of the deadly Carton. Ball comes back, and the strike first time might just carry. It does, you know. TJ Reid-esque. He's an absolute marksman. Let's see if he can live up to the billing. Of course he can. Go out in and around him as well. Costello steps up and scores clear again. Strikes it well and true. Really good. Well collected at the second time of asking by Niall McLickle. Has his wits about him, and he offloads it to Doherty. Looks for the pass this time inside. The ball finds Porrick O'Kane, who steals away. He's going to take on a shot! Oh, brilliant from Porrick O'Kane! Up a 2-point margin between the sides. And it's that man Heaton takes on the strike off his left side. Really neat score. The left, it's kept in back there, and opportunity here. Have they tagged on another one? Jay Glover approaching the 45, strikes it. That's really good stuff. And does so with Collins is determined to make something of this one, and they will get a score from it in the safety, and that is really smart play by Sean O'Kane. Just lets the ball beat him, then picks it up, gets the strike away on the run. That is absolutely forward once again. Ono Flaherty on the run, really strong stuff, really good. Tries a expansive crossfield ball. It's a terrific ball inside to find Collins. He's 1v1 with the fullback. Collins, what a good save that is! Who possibly just took his eye off the ball, literally and metaphorically, but here comes Collins on the charge once again, dishes it off to the on-rushing Dahi McCluskey. He's bearing down a goal, ball to the side, surely it must be, and it's played into the net by Fionn Carr. Costello meanwhile has the free to put CBS back in front. I love that. So he's lost a little bit of ground, composes himself once again, winds up for the attack, we attack, and that seems to be the mantra of the game. Over on the far section back, and just somehow finds the pass. Is there a score at the end of it for this game? Costello, who's been nigh on flawless from these again. as he steps up, lifts, strikes right behind that, and that is edge of the 40-metre arc. There's a chance here for Sean O'Kane to strike and put from round about 40 metres out, strikes it from Slotneil. Not his best, but it might just carry all the way through. And when you're at this stage, strikes it well. This one, who's had a really good game too for Tralee. Collins, oh, he's up. 8 wides apiece, by the way. It is all academic though, as St. Pat's flood the field. They are All-Ireland Senior B hurling champions, and they have won it. Tralee crestfallen in the end. They were 6 points up at one stage in that first half. The 2 goals arriving in quick succession, but credit to the Derry side. They never pressed the panic button. Captain Rian Collins, who will lift it in a couple of moments, and Pat's.
So this here's for him. Thank you.